Hey everyone, this is Casual Fanatic.
Film reviews without the shoes.
I'm Luca, your casual viewer.
And I'm Cayman, your fanatic.
And I'm Trevor.
So how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, man. We have a guest on today, Trevor.
In case you didn't hear it, kicking out.
No, yeah, for me, it's finally the weekend. Can't wait. I'm so glad work is over with.
Busy week.
Busy week. And it's going to continue being busy weeks for the next foreseeable future. So,
Sucks.
yeah, it's one of those. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm still dealing with 2025 work, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I have 3 revisions happening right now, and there's a list of, I want to say 7 or 8 projects lined up that are going to be split between me and one other person. So who knows which of those I'm going to get, but or when that's going to start. But yeah, it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess obviously we haven't recorded since December. What you guys been up to?
Jeez, since December? I have no idea.
Not like
I left the country.
That's fair. I was like, what was I doing in December? Yeah, so KK and I, my partner and I, we left the country for right around a month. We went to Germany, flew into Berlin, and then practically traveled everywhere where my family lives. And then we also went to Königswinter, which is probably, it's a really beautiful spot in Germany. And they have like these old ass like castles and ruins there. So that's practically the reason we went. There's this guy who, I forget exactly how he made this money, but he built a castle for his love. It's like one of those fairy tale kind of things. And he built this like on top of a hill.
Like he built it, or like he paid for it to be
He
built?
paid for it to be built.
Okay.
Yes. He's rich, so he paid.
Okay.
And then like on top of the mountains, there's like a ruin of like an old castle that used to be there. But the crazy thing is, like, because this castle was around, through World War I, World War II, it was actually shelled in World War II because the Nazis used it as like one of their training grounds.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So a lot of the downhill facade had to be rebuilt, and some of it was original still, but they rebuilt it like beautifully as like pictures shows.
Nice.
Like pictures show, and the inside is just unreal. I mean, it's just like you could walk around the inside and there's like guided tours on your phone to like talk to you about the rooms and like
Awesome.
the hidden doors. And
There are hidden doors.
there's hidden doors and there's like hidden elevators, because like he was so fancy. He had a kitchen downstairs, and then above that he had like a waiting room with like where the servants would be.
Mhm.
And then he had like a false wall thing right here to where like the servants on the inside of that room had like a elevator that would come up with the food. The other people up top would take it and then put it into like this little cubby area and then like reveal it and then close the back and reveal the food. Then the other servants would grab it.
Nice.
And so it'd be like one of those like Harry Potter effects. All of a sudden food is there. Pretty sick.
There was a back where I used to live in Texas, there was a mansion like not too far away that was also like someone had it built for their wife, but then they never lived there because the wife didn't like it and said it was too big. So they ended up living somewhere else.
Oh my God. That's brutal.
It ended up, I think it's a wedding venue now.
Wow. Cool. I mean, making money still.
Yeah.
Sick.
What was you been up to fast?
Oh man. Okay, so for this holiday season, went down to Costa Rica, hung out on the beach, and that was very nice. And I felt like Christmas with the Cranks almost. I was like, I'm abandoning all the feel good Christmas close timeness, and I'm gonna be getting sunburnt on the beach, and that's exactly what I did. So
Perfect.
Awesome.
yeah. So
Love that.
so that was great. Oh man, almost 2 weeks out there doing that, and we did New Year's out there too, so everyone's shooting off fireworks and all that, and forget regulations because what is that?
Yeah.
So that was fun doing all that, and flew back New Year's Day, and then just back to the grindstone. So what did I learn? Don't take vacations anymore because too much work builds up during that time. So that was a lesson hard learned, unfortunately.
I feel that. I was gone for that amount of time. I came back and everyone's like, "Oh, look, you're back finally," and it made me feel even worse the fact that I was gone for so long.
Yeah. Like, okay,
They don't take it
agree.
easy on you
Yeah.
when you come back.
Well, I did not leave the country.
Good for you.
I was watching your cats most of the
He
time.
was watching my kitty.
I did go to a rooftop bar. I forget what it's called. Rook, I think. It's downtown. Even though there was a fire ban on New Year's, there were still people shooting off fireworks. Not a whole lot, but it's fun. But rest of it's been pretty normal. Just hanging out, living life, working.
No vacations yet.
Yeah.
This time will come. All right. Well, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we are going to be talking about the 2025 movie Wake Up Dead Man. This is the third movie in the Knives Out series. Directed and written by Ryan Johnson, starring Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, and obviously a lot of other
slew.
people. Yeah, they're all
This cast is stacked, right?
There's so many.
ensemble movies, but those are the main two people. But yeah, this movie had an estimated budget of $40 million, and it only made 1.6 million, which is a little disappointing, but that's because I think it only spent like a week in theaters or something like that. They put it on Netflix really quickly, which I think was probably a mistake, but still good.
I wonder how much they're getting from Netflix, though, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
know
those
that
numbers are a little
yeah.
harder to parse. Netflix is not very transparent with all that stuff, so
But it had to have been worth it, right?
hope so.
Because I'm sure Netflix gets more viewership if it's not in the movie theaters for too long, right? So people just wait since they know.
Yeah.
And then it comes on Netflix, and Netflix gets, a surge of people watching it.
But like, if you already have a Netflix subscription, then you're not paying any extra to watch this movie.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Wonder how that works. I mean, they would have
Well,
had to strike a deal for.
Is it not like is Netflix not on the social media idea of active users? It's like whatever content we have on the platform, we just want you there.
Mhm.
So
Like
however you balance that bucket of content.
Well, I guess
So,
I think Netflix has a ad supported tier,
oh,
and like that's
oh,
easier
that's
to
right.
figure out. Like, obviously, if you're watching the movie and there's ads during the movie, then you can generate revenue that way. I've never understood how
Mhm.
streaming services calculate we made this much money on this thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm sure they have someone for that, right? I mean, they have
Yeah,
to.
but they're, like I said, they don't release any of those numbers, so
No.
it's all very behind closed doors.
Yeah.
If we have anyone that works for Netflix,
But yeah, what did you guys think of Wake Up Dead Man?
Oh, I ate it up. So on a previous conversation with Cayman, I told him this kind of movie is for me. I don't see the twists and turns. I can guess, but I'm usually wrong. So by the end of it, I was like, wow. The only thing that I got right on the twists and turns was
Spoilers.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
we'll talk about that.
We'll get to
we'll get to
that stuff later.
I ate it up.
Did you see the other two Knives Out movies?
I watched the one with Ed Norton.
Glass Onion.
I suppose the first one, whatever that one was called.
That one was just called Knives Out.
Okay, so then those two.
All right.
The one on the island, and then.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What do you think?
I thought it was great. I mean, I like all three of these movies so far. If they keep making them, I'll keep watching them because I think Ryan Johnson's doing a great job. Daniel Craig is a great performer, and I love his dumb Southern accent in these movies.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
So yeah, big fan. I think this one felt different than the other two, and I can get a little more specific on that later, but still good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. These are the types of movies I can just get behind and just kind of sit, relax, and watch. Just because, like, one, I don't want to think too hard in these movies because I know whatever I'm thinking is most likely going to be wrong. So yeah, I think this is a great movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. It did have a different tone than the other two, but I think it worked in the positive way versus the negative.
What's the next part of our podcast? It's been so long. A summary.
That's it. Well, I guess spoiler first.
Yeah, so
Spoiler warning.
I'm gonna summarize the movie, and then we'll. This one's gonna be hard because there's, like you mentioned, a lot of different twists and turns.
You should go watch it. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Go
watch the movie and then come back and listen to this. But just to refresh everyone's memory, if it's been a while since you've seen it, the movie, it focuses mainly. There's a brief like introductory scene where we see that the main character, who is Father Judd, is like writing something, but he recounts the tale of a while ago he punched another priest, and then he got in trouble with that, and as punishment doesn't seem like the right word, but like there had to be some sort of consequence for his actions.
Which it was more so a punishment in
Yeah.
in everyone else's eyes.
But they were even saying, they were like, no one's really mad that you hit that guy. We
Oh,
just...
right. But they have to make it look like a punishment.
Yeah.
And so
they send him out to, I think it's called Our Lady of Perpetual Fortitude, which is a small church out in the boonies. And the head priest there is a very aggressive guy named Monsignor Wicks, who is the kind of Christian who thinks that the world is the enemy of the church, and so is sort of berating people when they come to his services, and like trying to harden his followers against other people, I guess. And so obviously the relationship between Monsignor Wicks and Father Judd does not go well. Like, he's trying to make him as uncomfortable as possible, and just saying awful things to him. And then during I want to say the Good Friday service, it's on the story takes place during the week of Easter, and on the Good Friday service, Monsignor Wicks is killed, and no one knows why. So obviously enter Benoit Blanc, who is Daniel Craig's character, and I don't know if I could accurately tell you all of the twists and turns from there, but like the Monsignor is buried, and then at some point they set this whole thing up with like a Lazarus door, they call it, where the tomb that he's in requires machinery to open from the outside, but you can just like push it open from the inside. And then there's video footage of him exiting the tomb, and then the groundskeeper gets murdered. And there's a whole bunch of like running around and talking to different people and flashbacks. And they keep talking about Wicks's mother. They call her the harlot whore because she like desecrated the church a long time ago because she was greedy or whatever. You want to help me out? I'm kind of scrambling here.
No, I mean that's about it, and it's all about this tight knit group of congregators
Right.
in this church, and Wicks obviously has different relationships with them and different motivations, but his fire and brimstone sort of preaching draws them all in, and that's why they stay.
But we figure out at one point that because the greed or whatever that the harlot whore was looking for was called Eve's apple. Turns out Eve's apple is a jewel, and at some point Monsignor Wicks found out where the jewel was, and so he was going to basically like defame all of his followers. He was like, fuck you all, I'm out of here, kind of thing. And so that creates motive for his murder, because even though this group of people was like his tight-knit followers, their lives would have been ruined if he was able to tell everyone all of their different little dirty secrets. But yeah, and so then that's why he was murdered, and we find out that it was actually two people that kind of like co-conspired to murder him.
Mm-hmm.
Martha, who is the I don't know what you call it. I'm not a Catholic, so I don't know what all the different positions are.
It's
But
more of like a admin sort of function,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
day-to-day operations of the church.
Yeah.
You know,
But not the groundskeeper. That's not her.
Right,
She's just
yeah.
internal church, I guess.
But she had poisoned. He's an alcoholic, and she had poisoned one of his flasks that he normally drinks like off stage in the middle of service. And so he collapsed from poison.
It was like a
And-
tranquilizer, right?
Yeah. And then while he was on the ground, Martha like created a distraction real quick, and then Dr. Nat, who is one of his followers who just went through a divorce and he's really bitter about that, takes the moment of distraction to stab him in the back. And so it looks like he was stabbed while no one else was around.
Yeah.
And then it like becomes this whole thing where the groundskeeper gets disguised as the Monsignor, and he's the one that gets buried, which is how he was able to exit the tomb. And then Dr. Nat is the one that killed the groundskeeper because he got greedy about the jewel. And then Martha figured it all out and killed Nat. And then, like, I don't know what kind of acid this is, but put him in this, like, giant bath of some real nasty shit and made it look like Monsignor Wicks had killed him. So then both of the bodies are taken care of, obviously, except for the groundskeeper. But yeah, make sure both of them die, and then I guess just was gonna try and get rid of the jewel, because was it her father or her grandfather? I don't know the relationship, but the person who was the head priest before Monsignor Wicks was like super against that kind of greed and all of that.
yeah, like money corrupts, and he is like, well, I have this fortune, I can't let it go to my daughter.
'Cause I think they said it was like $80,000
Yeah.
or something like that.
80 million.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
It was $80 million.
but he died because he swallowed the jewel, and that's why they had to get inside of the tomb, because it was still in his stomach. But Martha like was exactly the same kind of person. Like, she was like, no one needs to have this, we need to destroy this or like throw it in the ocean or something like that. And so that's why she killed Dr. Nat.
Well, she also just felt bad because she was dared to go do a confession.
Well, yeah, that's how Monsignor Wicks found
out. Yeah. And then she realized that Monsignor Wicks is actually, she was like, I told the wrong priest at the end of the movie before she died.
So yeah, when they're doing the whole big reveal scene, Benoit Blanc is like going through all of it, and then decides, rather than outing everyone, he's going to let Martha confess for herself. And so she has also poisoned herself.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so she's like, as she's dying from this poison, confesses to the priest, and the police chief is there as well. And so that, because a lot of the time they think that Father Judd did all of this, and so her confession clears his name as well.
And then she dies, and then the jewel was in her hand, which
Right.
makes no sense to me, but that's totally okay.
And well, I mean, where else would it be? You should just hold on to
Well, she was trying to hide it.
it. Well,
So hide it before you die.
yeah, I guess.
I mean, she had enough time.
So then
good point.
Father Judd reopens the church with a more welcoming message, and ends up hiding the jewel in a crucifix above the altar.
That he whittled himself because he was into woodwork.
Yep.
And
And that's it.
Well, something to be said though too. The crucifix wasn't there for the whole movie.
Right.
It was torn down from the daughter that was trying to find the jewel to begin with.
The harlot whore.
You know, yeah, the harlot whore. So whatever symbology goes along with that, but it's yeah, I think the confession at the end was interesting, and I said, yes, of course it had to be Glenn Close. They needed to give her a monologue.
He had to give her something to do.
Yeah. I was like, this is what I'm here for. I want to hear it.
Cool.
Yeah, well, we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with some deeper thoughts.
Let's do it.
And we're back.
And we're back. Well, let's get into the movie, and I think a good place to start is the overall feel of the movie compared to the other two that they've done. I think this movie is a lot more less funny, more serious. I thought, you don't think so? I thought that this movie had so many.
I think Glass
Non-jokes.
Onion was really like more
I think both of the last two were pretty
on
funny.
the like ridiculous kind of comedy,
Yeah.
like over the top kind of stuff. I feel like the first Knives Out movie was tonally about the same as this.
I don't think so. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but I just felt like this one, it was like very, very podcasty documentary style of videography, of like they would frame the person on the left and it looks like they're looking at the camera, but they're actually looking right past the camera at the person that then they change the camera to, who's also sitting right there, and they frame him to the right. So it felt like an actual like police kind of investigation / podcast documentary style movie, which was to me like a lot more realistic, like you said, like not as, oh my god, crazy kind of fun.
I felt the exact opposite. I feel like it was so stylistic. Like it didn't feel, I wasn't getting documentary vibes at all. Like it was so, like each shot felt like it was composed in a very dramatic, like, whoosh, you know? I don't really know the words to describe what I'm trying to say, but like, especially another thing that I brought up was in the flashback scenes, there were all of those like color shards over the screen.
A flashback scene?
Yeah.
Color shards over the screen?
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember. What
Is it in the transition or is
In
it?
all of
Or is
the
it like
all
when
of
you're
the
in the-
scenes where they're talking about the harlot whore.
Oh yeah.
But like in every single one of those shots, there's like colored glass over different parts of the screen. I'll pull a scene up after this and show you.
I do not remember that.
But yeah, I was just like, so like they didn't care about it being realistic. Like another scene is like in the after dude comes out of the tomb and they like run into that little opening in the bush.
Yeah.
And when he's like going to stab the dude, there's like flashes all around him. And it's like, I think it's meant to be lightning, but like, it's very obvious like they just set a bunch of
Like
lights up around and just like flash, flash. And I was like, this is so fun.
Yeah, but like in my brain, I took that as this is like the setup that they know. Like to me, it was like the groundskeeper set this up so that.
No, I don't think that was
Work
meant to
out.
be in universe. I think that was just part of the filmmaking.
Oh, weird. Weird then. Yeah, I don't know why I rate that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. To me, like just the one-on-one shots of people talking, it felt very like documentary. Like, oh, I'm talking. Now the camera's focused on me, and then I'm framed nicely. And then when the other person's talking, it switches to that person. It's kind of like the 60 seconds or 60 minutes
Oh,
kind of
I can
feel.
see that. Yeah.
But that's only for like the 1v1 conversations.
Interesting.
Not
I had to not get any of that.
weird. Well, I thought this one was a lot more serious, a lot less funny, a lot darker. Like just totally.
Especially with Daniel Craig's character, I feel like this is the funniest he's ever been.
Really?
Well, like when they're examining the dead body and he's like wiggly wiggly. Like that was such a silly scene.
I think the best scene there was when he asked him to flip it, and they were like, "Sure."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I wonder if that was purposeful, like making Blanc the most gregarious character. I mean, yes, you could look at Wicks and all that, but it's like if he's bringing levity, but this is a very serious situation going in there. I think at this point we've established him as being, I'm just here for the love of the sport, so he's like I don't care about the religion part about it, I don't care about your situations, I just want to find the murderer.
I will say I think a lot the characters, I think, and again I think this mostly has to do with Glass Onion. I feel like Glass Onion, all of the characters were kind of funny. In this one, the characters are not that funny, but there are still a lot of jokes that are like just part of their circumstance.
Right.
But also, I mean, like even like with Wicks going into detail talking about masturbating, like that's funny.
Yeah.
That's
Like, what are we
true.
doing here? Yeah.
That's true. I will say this movie did a really good job in teetering both into like the religion side of things, but also into the like non-religious folk. And they drew that line very straight down the movie. Like they used lighting in the movie every time you talked about God in the church, like the church
No,
support.
that was there was a scene, the scene when Benoit Blanc comes into the church, and then there's that conversation where he's like, "How does all this make you feel?" And Benoit goes on this tangent where he's like, I think he says like it feels like a donkey who I don't even remember what his metaphor was, but
It was something crazy, outlandish.
but yeah, like while he's talking, like it gets all cloudy and dark, and he's like talking about this, and then it transitions back to Father Judd talking about the love and warmth, and you see the sun like shining over his shoulder, and it's like such a powerful moment.
Yeah. And they did that a few times during the movie when Benoit Blanc was talking. It was like, hmm. And then the pastor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not to get like, I guess if this is a political take, but like I do wish that more Christians were like Father Judd. I feel like he's a very good example of what religion should be for people.
Yeah, a
Um,
place of r- redemption and solace in some way, like a second chance. I mean, for Father Judd, that was his whole thing because he carried the shame and the guilt of his past as a fighter and so forth. So
But
yeah, I don't
also,
know if we mentioned this earlier, but the part of his backstory is he killed someone in a boxing match.
which I think is a fair place to kill someone on accident.
It wasn't on accident.
Oh,
well, he said he went into the fight with hate in his heart.
Yeah.
Whether or not he meant to kill him was never explicitly said, but he said I was okay if that was the case.
Yeah.
So that was the shame and guilt with that.
yeah. I will say with the religion part, I agree the fact that he was so open and kept his love for, humanity, but also religion while Benoit Blanc was talking.
Hmm.
Even though he knew like Benoit Blanc wasn't religious at all,
Yeah.
didn't care at all, he still gave him that like same respect. Whereas a lot of the times, speaking from personal experience, when I've gone into a church just to be there with like a friend or two, and then I talk to someone completely different, and they ask, me of like my religious beliefs, and I tell them my true, honest opinion. A lot of the times, it's like received with like a kind of vibe, and I feel like you were saying,
Hmm.
he does not give that feel off. For
Yeah.
him, it's like truly like, I don't really care what you believe in. I'm here, to serve my up higher power, his God, and whatever the other people believes, he doesn't care. He's going to treat everyone the same.
One, because that's like for him, uh, becoming religious was his. That was how he was able to, I guess, not accept, because obviously it's not like everything is okay now, but like after having murdered someone, the tremendous amount of guilt that he had, yeah, it was like it was salvation for him. Like he was able to say, yes, I am a bad person and I've done bad things, but like through Christ, yada yada yada. And like that's the attitude that he extends to everyone else, is like everyone's kind of fucked up. We've all done bad things, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be welcomed and loved.
Right. What do you think from Benoit Blanc's standpoint? Do you think he was just as, you know, courteous towards religion?
I
in
mean,
this
I guess
movie?
in terms of like being polite, then I would say yeah. Like he was never rude to anyone.
No.
Um
And never either. Like he also didn't talk down on religion. He just gave him his viewpoint and how he views life.
yeah.
Well, I mean, he had that scene when he first met Father Judd about like he kind of peeled back the layers a little bit and said, okay, I don't mind, what you believe in this and that, but I do have problems with the institution of the church. And he had that moment of being like, you know, I can't get behind such and such a thing, but is it bad in and of itself? Not necessarily. And then that's what I took from his moment of being like, you want to get to it, let's get to it, but it has no bearing on what we're doing here.
Right.
Well, and he even mentioned, because they were talking about the architecture in the church, and he was like, this is obviously this is all fake. And Father Judd was like, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, this wasn't built in medieval times.
He's
This
like,
is
we're in New York City.
right. It's like, this is all just storytelling, is what they call it. Is like, but is the storytelling to convey a lie, or is it a deeper truth that we all share?
And I'm glad you brought that up, because when I was watching that scene, I was like, that's a great way to put it, because it's like, doesn't matter that it's a story, but it's what you take out of it.
Right.
It's like, what is the lesson to be learned here? And if you're better for it, then so be it.
Right.
And so
And that's how I view religion, and that's why I like people having their religion. I think it's great. Have your morals, have your compass, and
Another one, and what I think is probably the most beautiful scene in the movie, is when they're like tearing the office apart and trying to find the jewel, and then they find the piece of paper about the tomb, and he calls that lady over at the construction company. I think her name is Louise. And then it's like, it's a funny scene at first, and they're like talking through it, and he's like, well, but let me just ask this question. She's like yapping on about different stuff. And then right before he's about to hang up, she mentions that her mom is sick and asks Father Judd to pray with her. And he immediately, like, the compassion you can see in that moment, where he's like, okay, forget what we're doing. Like, I need to take care of this.
yeah, the urgency was just gone.
Yeah.
It was all of a sudden like, I'm on your time. I'm here for you.
it was a recentering. He was like, oh wait, actually, that's actually what I'm here for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she also calls him back at like the absolute worst time. You know, when he ran down, the door opens, the guy walks out. He's like watching this from the top of the hill. He runs down and gets like in a mudslide, and then runs up, sees the guy dead.
Mhm.
Wait, he gets punched in the face and then gets knocked out. And then he wakes up at one point again, right? And then he takes off running. And then he's like in the middle of the trees, lost. And then she calls him again. She's like, is everything okay? Like, is this a good time? He's like,
Sure.
I thought that was pretty good.
They did, I briefly mentioned earlier, but I have been thinking about this, and I wonder if the Lazarus door is like feasible construction wise. Like, I've been trying to think about how that would work, where it's like it literally is impossible to open from the outside, but just a tiny tap from the inside will tumble it over. I'm like, how would that have to be balanced for that to work?
I guess if the exterior is like incredibly flush, which it looked like,
Right.
right? The door is just a flush piece of granite. And on the interior, let's say the door is set up and there's like just a little overhang where the door kind of like sits in.
Hmm.
And then on the inside, you just kind of like push hard enough and then it like falls off the top, because then you have grip and can push the door. You can't pull the door from the outside. And if there were grips, you could probably pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, if I could see it if there was like, I guess it depends on the amount of force required. They said the lightest touch in the movie, but like, I don't know what that means specific. Like, if you had to like give it a good shove, then yeah, I could see how that would be possible. But if you're just like pushing like a normal door for that big piece of stone, like, I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Or it literally was just a piece of stone, just wedged, or like not even wedged, just like put up. And it's just standing on its own support.
Yeah.
And since you can't pull it from the outside because it's so flush, you just push it from the inside.
That's what I was thinking. Like if it was notched at the bottom, and so like maybe, I don't know, 10 pounds of pushing, it'd be enough to just knock it over. So I don't know, but I mean they have to have something. Maybe you got to find a prop master. Ask, how would we do this?
Right.
Interesting to think about.
If anyone that's listening,
Find a prop master. We need to know.
yeah.
I did notice the second time I watched it, part of the Wicks murder involves a remote control, and there was they subtly revealed that in the movie before the characters figured it out. There's a scene where Father Judd is like just walking around the grounds, and he walks past Sam's house, and Sam closes his garage door, because I think this is after Wicks is murdered and everyone thinks that Father Judd did it. And so it's like, I don't want to talk to you, and closes the garage door. But when he closes the garage door, you can see his TV flicker in the background.
Oh yeah, well yeah, all the breadcrumbs are there. Looking back on, you're like, oh yeah, of course it was, Doctor Nat, facading as Sam and so forth and all those things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I I
And
thought
the thing with
stretch of
the,
a timestamp of the radio signal where it interrupted the broadcast.
yeah,
was
I guess
like,
I
that
don't
was
know how
so
far his
hard.
house is from the
Yeah.
church, but or the other thing is like when they're in the bar and Benoit Blanc is like doing that with the photo, and it's set up to make you think that it's like one of those find the difference things.
Yeah.
And it's set up the first time where you think it's talking about the bag in the frame, but then later it's revealed that he was actually noticing that there's two of the devil headlamps. And it's, I will say, even watching it a second time, it's harder to see the one in the back, but yeah, it's all there. I will say that this is kind of a double-edged sword, because it's like good and bad, where I feel like Father Judd is one of the most well-written characters out of all three movies.
Yeah.
But I think because there was so much focus on him, it made the rest of the ensemble feel less developed by comparison. Like in the other movies, everyone is like kind of has an equal amount of character development, but this one is like mostly Father Judd, and then everyone else feels a little one-dimensional. Like
Yeah.
we've got like the bitter divorcee and the woman who was forced to raise some other person's child. It just, there wasn't a whole lot of depth in the other characters, I think.
I agree totally.
Yeah, it was, service level. But bringing that up, I thought the what was the uh Father Wick's son's, his estranged son, the influencer guy. What was
Yeah.
his name?
Sai?
Sasai. Yeah, that's right. I know. I don't know if that needed to be there. I think we could have still had the story without that. Like someone else giving Father Wick a reason to abandon his flock and, just disappear, which is what he was planning to do. Did it have to come from an estranged son that somehow is tied into the, the lawyer chick?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he was the part where he was the one that revealed to Benoit Blanc about everything they talked about, right? So motive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he
think that's
was videotaping everything the whole
Everything.
time. And so even like that secret meeting, like they wouldn't have found out about any of that if he wasn't there.
And
I did like the another funny part is when he was talking about how he had failed to become a politician, and he was like listing off all the things he was trying to like hit people with. He was like, I talked about trans people, I talked about DEI, I talked about...
he talked about everything.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, you covered your bases. Why are you not blowing up right now? Yeah.
I will say, sorry, I have to go back to this like killing scene. I just realized how I totally breezed over the fact that this guy just knelt down and stabbed him
Yeah.
in that area, and it was as if like
And like, I guess
it
how convenient, like what if the distraction didn't work?
right.
Like Martha screamed and everyone turns around, but like if even one person had stayed looking that direction, they would have seen him like
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy. I just think the fact that I personally just like saw him stab the dude and I was like, But then like never throughout the movie did he reveal any kind of feeling about him having just killed a man.
Yeah.
Like
It was missing. Yeah.
that's like the crazy part, that he had no remorse the entire movie.
I mean, he was willing to kill the old lady too.
I know.
He obviously did not care at all.
He didn't.
And he's the one that killed the groundskeeper.
Yeah, he was
He was
the worst.
like, stab.
Which I thought it was interesting how he got that clave. Is that called a clave? Or the knife that's
Sickle.
sickle. That's what it is. Because it was like in the groundskeeper like pant thing. So how did you like go to the groundskeeper, grab it?
Well, because they were changing clothes. He was in the groundskeeper outfit at first. So he probably had the sickle already. Because the groundskeeper was in the priest robes.
I could swear there was a flashback where the actual groundskeeper had his clothes on, and that's when he saw like the knife in his pant, and that's when he took his opportunity.
I don't know.
But I don't know. To me, it was like, sure, convenient that he had a clave on him, and why also did he have a clave on him? None of it makes sense. Movie magic, I guess.
This is also the longest that it's taken for Benoit Blanc to enter the movie. Obviously, there's a very brief scene in the beginning where it's like setting up. Benoit Blanc is reading Father Judd's story. But other than that, I checked the time code. Benoit Blanc doesn't show up in this movie until 40 minutes in.
Whoa! Wait, really?
Yeah.
That felt so much sooner. I guess with like the whole four story of the priest and then the priests meeting each other. Damn, yeah, true.
Well, because it's like, what, 2.5-hour movie or so? Yeah.
But in the other two movies, Benoit Blanc's there in the first 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. Damn, it was a 2.5-hour long movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely
realized.
It doesn't feel as long as it is.
No.
The pacing is really nice. I guess just another funny moment is when they're all in the, I think they call it the chancery. Is that what that? The secondary building that's not part of the church, but they're all in there, and then I forget her name, the cellist that is in the wheelchair. At one point, she like gets up to grab a cigarette, and Martha screams her head off. She's like, "I can walk, Martha. It just hurts."
That was a good one. I like that. Yeah. Well, I think the over the top drama from Martha.
She was screaming at everything.
I was numb to it by the end. I was like, I know she's not blameless here, but is she the mastermind here? Because like I know that her and Sam had a thing going on, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something there, but for her to ultimately kind of be the one shifting and pulling the levers behind the scenes, I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I don't know my thoughts on her wanting to protect the church or that particular establishment as the motive. I was like, really? That's what we're gonna hang our hat on here?
Yeah, that was interesting. Maybe she felt the guilt because she revealed it from her childhood onwards, and he asked her just not to.
Mm-hmm.
I will say she was pretty. I think the scene with her that was the best was her when she went to the house after, and then he opened the door. He's like, "Oh, is it done?" And she like walks in and she sees like the 2 coffee cups. She switches them because she suspected there was poison in hers.
Especially because part of their plan was poisoning Wicks. Like she already knew that poison was part of the equation.
Right. And then like he figured out that he was the one so he ran upstairs. I think the part that was hilarious was when he died. And she like was bringing him back downstairs, and she like shoved him down the stairs.
That was hilarious.
I think that was probably the funniest part of the whole movie.
And this has been alluded to or like built up over all 3 of the movies. I don't remember the exact references in the other 2, but the fact that Benoit Blanc is a huge musical theater nerd.
True.
Like there's this scene when he's getting Judd's about to like he goes to the police station, he's gonna turn himself in, and Blanc takes him back out, and when he turns on the car, Skimbleshanks from Cats is blasting on the stereo.
He's like,
yep. And then later at the end, when he's trying to like get everyone's attention, he plays Phantom of the Opera on the organ, although he didn't play the last note of that riff, and it didn't like that.
Everyone's curious.
But yeah, I just think it's funny that Benoit Blanc just is. Oh yeah, that's in Glass Onion. He was playing. What's that game that like it's like you have the little characters and they're running around and you like there's one person who's the killer and then everyone else has to figure out who it is. Among Us,
yeah.
Yeah, he's playing Among Us with like a bunch of famous like musical theater people.
Wait, when?
In the beginning of Glass Onion.
What? Well, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they just in every movie they keep putting in these little hints about it.
A man needs hobbies. It's
Yeah.
so good.
A part of the movie that I took like very seriously was that secret meeting that they were having. where he was like spilling all like, what he did wrong and stuff like that. And then, his followers were like, oh, don't even worry about that. Like, we're going to follow you to the very end and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that made me feel like it's such a good time for something like that to be shown, because that's how I feel about like, our president currently. Like, he can do some crazy things and people are like, it's okay.
Because they're like, the author guy was like, well, yeah, he might have done some bad stuff, but we're at war and we need a warrior for a leader.
Mm-hmm. He's like a six-pack of
Oh yeah. Some of the social media ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, they're like, oh no, don't even worry about any of the bad things that you've done. Like all your
Although
sins
it was mostly, and I don't know if this was trying to necessarily say anything with this, but it seemed like the people who were doing that, who were like, we stick with you no matter what, were all the male characters. All of the women were a lot more skeptical of Monsignor Wicks. Like obviously the
one in the wheelchair wasn't though.
Lawyer, she was. I mean, she
almost,
ultimately came around because she was like,
she
was like, if you can heal me, I don't care.
Right.
But for most of it, she was like, I've given you, because during that meeting, he was like, you're never going to be healed. You can't buy God's healing. And she was like, well, fuck you then.
She was like, I've given you all my savings. And you're like, when you can't buy forgiveness
right,
or healing or something. Interesting.
But yeah.
And that was poignant though, I think, that whole thing. Like when he was, breaking everyone down, it was just like, it was interesting because regardless of his fire and brimstone attitude, when he was doing that to everybody, he was still drawing on the faith to be like, here's why you're wrong. And sure, I have my feelings too, but here's why you guys are specifically wrong and what you're trying to get out of me in the church right now. And so I wonder if his idea of the church being under attack is from this core group of people. It's like, you guys are exactly the problem. What I see with the church.
I think for everyone except for the lawyer lady, because I think that his only comment to her was like, you were always a disappointment to your father.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was like, so unnecessary. I was like, did you say that? Damn.
Because like she was talking about her dad at one point, and apparently her dad's dead. Yeah. And she didn't say, when she was talking about her dad to Benoit Blanc, she didn't say like, my dad is proud of me or anything like that. She was like, what did she say? Like, I hope my dad is happy or something.
Like satisfied.
Or satisfied. Yeah. It was something very like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why, because she said like one day her dad just showed up with a child and was like, you're raising this kid now. And she was like, okay. And it like obviously took like 20 years out of her life trying to raise this kid, but yeah.
Crazy stuffs.
I think that's all that I had. No,
I think it is for me too.
But yeah. I thought it was.
Oh, I will say I thought it was pretty lame to hide the jewel in the chest of Jesus.
I thought it was a nice symbolism, but it does seem like if someone was looking for it, it would be really easy to find there.
Man. Like. It was like just I get why he did it, because it was the priest swallowed it and that's where he found it in the priest prior to, and also like no one that goes into a church that is there to worship is ever gonna tear down the cross that's up high.
Well, I guess the idea is that because obviously Sai still wanted to find it and he was like, I hope you come back to the church one day, but like I don't think Sai's ever going back to the church.
I think that was kind of the point of it, is like for Father Judd, the answer is in Christ. So if you want, whether it's the jewel or not, the answers you seek are with the faith and in the church. So hopefully you come back here, and if you do, you'll find what you're looking for here, right. Whatever it is you're looking for.
Right.
And I thought that was kind of an interesting way to put it, but that's what I took out of it.
For sure. I just thought it was like so on the nose. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, of course it's gotta be. That's what we're doing here.
I know, but I just hate those moments where it ended like that too. I was like, come on, and then black screen. I was like, so dumb, because it scrolled up to him on the cross, and then all of a sudden there's like a light glimmer, and you see the jewel right there. I'm like, oh, of course.
Well, I just because that was such a big, because like we mentioned, like the cross hadn't been there the whole movie because the harlot whore, who her name was Grace, by the way, but she had torn down the old cross, and so it's like there's precedent for people looking there.
Right. It's not the first time it's been torn down.
Right.
True.
But also we see that like child Martha was an absolute asshole.
Yeah.
She
I know
after
where it is.
watching this woman be tortured for years and people like criticizing her and her sticking with it for the promise of a better life, and then after her father dies, this child's like, I know where the jewel is, but you're never gonna find it. Like, I'd be like, I'd probably hit that kid too. I'm gonna be real.
But it's interesting telling of the same story, because the first time we see that incident, she's the young Martha is the victim, getting beaten by or Grace, and then the next time we see it, we see the smile on young Martha's face.
Well, we see the
Well,
smile
like-
both times, but the first time Martha is narrating the scene,
Right,
and
right.
you don't see what child Martha says. You only hear what the older Martha tells you that she said.
Right.
And so the smile seems more genuine and like, I'm happy for you. But then the second time after you hear what she whispered, it's a much more sinister smile.
Yeah. Well, that's it for me. I don't have any more notes.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered the bases, and like I said, any whodunit, eat it up.
Yeah. So true. Out of the 3 movies, what is your rankings of them in order?
I think I might have to put this one at the top. So far, and then the first one, and then Glass Onion at the bottom for me.
I think it's been a while since I've seen the first one, so I might have to watch that one again to get like a real comparison, but I feel like I'd probably put the first one at the top, and then this one, and then Glass Onion.
That's what I was going to say.
But like I said, they keep making them, I'll keep watching them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They're so good. They do so well every time of just like giving you all the clues. If you're good at, cluing, then you would understand. But I'm just so dumb. I'm over here. Oh, it's good. It's Martha.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll get into trivia. The first one is, so after the first movie came out, Rian Johnson had revealed a sort of clue that people have been looking for since, and so they've avoided it in the previous 2 movies. But after the first one came out, Rian Johnson in an interview revealed that Apple doesn't allow villains to use iPhones.
What?
Like, it's like part of their contractual agreement for having iPhones in your movie is a bad guy is not allowed to use an iPhone. And so in the first Knives Out movie, everyone except for the killer has an iPhone. and if you notice that, you can know who the killer is right away.
Wild.
You're kidding me. That's crazy.
So I think in the movies after that, they've just had more non-iPhones to sort of mix it up.
That is so funny though.
But another thing that people have picked up on is on the official movie posters, which I'm going to show you guys. And hopefully they catch on to this and change it as well, because this is kind of funny that this gives it away. Is on the movie posters, the first 3 names listed are always Daniel Craig, the person he's working with, and the killer.
No way.
And so I guess quick spoilers if you haven't seen the other 2 movies, but in this poster, you got Daniel Craig, Ana de Armas, who's the person he's working with, and then Chris Evans, who was the killer in the first movie.
What?
And then in this one, Daniel Craig, Janelle Monáe, who's the person he's working with, and Edward Norton, who's the killer in the second movie.
Oh, you're kidding.
And in this one, Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, who's the person he's working with, and Glenn Close.
Bruh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Also, the fact that this movie was called Wake Up Dead Man, I hate that it kind of gave away what was gonna happen. And in a way, Wake Up Dead Man, I mean, the dude died, and I was like, okay, well, something's gonna happen with him coming back alive, but he's not gonna come back alive because he's for sure dead. So I knew at one point there was gonna be someone switching to be the dead guy.
I feel like the title didn't so much give it away, but they did, like, they foreshadowed it early. Like when they brought up the Lazarus door and they're like one tiny push from the inside, it's like they wouldn't have
Mentioned that.
yeah, like obviously you know that that's a Chekhov's gun,
Very true.
but also the next piece of trivia is like its predecessors, this film is named after a song. So in this case, Wake Up Dead Man is a song from U2's 1997 album Pop.
Oh, cool.
No,
So all of the movies are named after songs.
Didn't know that. The Glass Onion? Who's that?
That's the Beatles song.
oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Okay, next piece of trivia. Chief Scott tells Blanc that she owes Detective Elliot a fruit basket for giving her Blanc's phone number. Lieutenant Elliot was one of the police investigators from the first Knives Out movie.
Oh,
So that's how they like tie it all together, like how he ended up in this small town is one of the other detectives was like, hey,
I
call
got-
this guy.
Yeah,
wow.
that's a guy for you. Yeah.
As with the previous film, the subtitle A Knives Out Mystery does not appear in the movie itself, only on the posters and marketing. Writer-director Ryan Johnson has publicly said that he dislikes the subtitle, which is for marketing purposes. He wants each movie to have its own title, much like how Agatha Christie novels lacked subtitles to let the reader know that it was a new Hercule Poirot mystery. So, as far as the filmmaking team is concerned, it's like Knives Out, Glass Onion, Wake Up Dead Man, each their own thing. But obviously, all of the big wigs with the money are like, we have to tell people it's a Knives Out movie.
Right.
But yeah, I agree, and I think I've complained about that on one of our previous podcasts as well. But I don't like the subtitle. I feel like it takes away from
Unnecessary.
yeah.
Yeah. It's almost placating to the audience. It's like, no, we know what's a Knives Out movie. You know, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, they do the same thing with like James Bond movies,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I mean,
Make sure you know it's a James Bond movie.
I guess if you count 007 as a subtitle,
Yes.
but
It has to be, right? It's like the thing. 007 that you already know. It's like
yeah, I guess that
what else
feels.
they put there James Bond.
Well, but that's what like I don't know. That feels less egregious to me.
It is less because it's smaller, less.
Like no, and this would be like if they were like Quantum of Solace, a James Bond story. It's like that's cheesy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, it's similar to like the rolling credits at the beginning of Star Wars. It's like you don't have to say it's Star Wars, but if you do that, we know that it's a Star Wars movie.
Mm.
Or like with 007, you know, you have the zeroing in of the gun and the 007.
Yeah, there's
like,
much more optical.
Yeah,
clues.
like we get it.
Yeah.
I mean, all like big movie like Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter and the blah blah blah. Harry Potter and the blah 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 blah. It's always Harry Potter. Isn't that the same?
That one's an interesting one though, because I'm like,
But again, that's part of the title. That's not a subtitle.
Yeah.
And it's also it's a little different because this isn't even like if it was Wake Up Dead Man, a Benoit Blanc movie, I would even forgive that more. But calling a Knives Out mystery where the subtitle is just the first movie, that doesn't make sense to me. That would be like
I see what you're saying.
if like
they should've
Deadly
changed.
Hallows was called a Sorcerer's Stone story. Like that wouldn't make any
Right.
sense.
I agree. Then they should have had a different like actual subtitle for the first movie, and then just made
Mhm.
you know a Knives Out mystery the thing, and then under that always have what it is
Yeah.
subcategory.
Oh,
wise.
didn't they? Well, again, going back to Star Wars, when Star Wars came out, it was Star Wars,
Right.
and then it had to become A New Hope.
Yes.
Right. So I wonder if it's following that trajectory,
Mm.
where it's like now as the branding is maturing and whatever, maybe they go back and rename the first one, but we all understand that it's a Knives Out, series.
Interesting. Still don't like it.
No, I respect it. I think we're just trying to make sense of it. Of what it.
Okay. Next piece of trivia. The early scene where Father Judd faces the tribunal in his seminary's gym was filmed in Harrow Club in West London, which is the same place that served as the filming location for Rick Astley's legendary Never Gonna Give You Up music video.
Oh my gosh.
It's the if you watch that scene and then watch the music video and
Changes though.
you can see that giant window in the background.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I've seen that video enough to remember that. Yeah, that's cool.
Noah Segan, who plays Nikolai the bartender, also portrayed Trooper Wagner in Knives Out and Daryl in Glass Onion. Segan and Ryan Johnson have been friends ever since they met on Johnson's first film, Brick, and Johnson now makes a point of casting Segan in every film that he makes.
What? Damn. Get you a friend that gets you the bag every time he gets the chair. That was awesome.
Okay, this one's a bit long. Benoit Blanc references The Hollow Man by John Dixon Carr, in which the recurring character Dr. Gideon Fell explains the standard solutions to lock room mystery. The stories in which an apparently impossible murder occurs in a sealed room with no visible means of entry or escape. In the novel, Fell outlines 7 such solutions, not 4 as stated in the films. In brief, the solutions are: the death is not a murder, but a chain of accidents that ultimately resembles one. The victim is compelled to commit suicide, possibly arranging the scene to resemble a murder. The death is a genuine unforced suicide that is deliberately staged to look like a murder. The killing is carried out by a mechanical device that was planted in the room beforehand. The murder relies on illusion or impersonation. The victim is already dead in the room but is believed to be alive. The murder is committed by someone outside the room using trickery or some long-range method. And finally, similar to number 5, the victim is merely presumed dead in the locked room and is killed later.
Interesting. Yes, like during that shot where they were trying to figure out, like, where he was listing the options, in my brain, I thought that the priest wanted to kill himself. I don't know why, but that's what my thought was. And so he had this knife already like pre-planned, and he like ran into the wall and then fell forward.
Interesting.
That's what I thought like had happened, and obviously didn't. But those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those are like fun to think about.
Yeah.
All the different options they could have done for the movie.
And final piece of trivia, this film's body count is the highest of the franchise. 6 people die in this movie.
It's like a whole cast.
While a 7th death is repeatedly mentioned as part of Father's Judd boxing history.
Right.
The previous 2 films only had 2 deaths each.
Crazy.
Wow. Wait, who all died in this one?
Priest.
The Father Monsignor Wicks,
Dr. Nat.
whatever the old priest guy's name was.
Oh, okay.
Groundskeeper.
Percival or something like that.
Yeah.
But so Wicks, the old priest, the groundskeeper, Dr. Nat, Martha, Grace. Yeah, that's it.
And then the boxers,
Yeah,
and then
that's
JFM.
which is 6.5.
So 6 on screen, 7 if you count talking about it.
That's hilarious. They're like, let's up it.
Yes.
Icy.
Yeah, that's trivia.
Very
Uh,
cool. Good trivia.
So let's get wrecked.
Let's do it.
Me
You first.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been drinking my drink here the whole morning.
It smells like coffee.
It is definitely coffee. It's actually a TikTok video that was sent to me, and it is a honey cinnamon brown sugar coffee.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So you take 1 tablespoon brown sugar, put it in a cup. Then on top of that, half a tablespoon honey, put it in the cup. A shake of cinnamon, however much cinnamon you want, in the cup. A
Whole ass thing of cinnamon.
A pinch of smoked sea salt, or just a pinch of salt. Throw it in the cup. And then you do 2 shots of espresso. Stir it in the cup. And then you get like ice.
Nice.
You pour the coffee in the ice, pour the coffee in the ice, and you fill it up to the top with milk, and you're good to go. And it is very good.
Cool.
Yeah. So write that down or go find that TikTok, guys.
Or just listen to this part on repeat while you're.
Yeah. It's pretty easy. I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, my recommendation is actually just recently started watching Wonder Man, which Disney dropped very quietly. It there was barely any marketing, but the whole season is on Disney Plus. I've only seen 2 episodes so far, but I'm liking it, and it's a it's a Marvel show, but it's not. It's very separate from the rest of the MCU. Like, you don't have to know anything to watch it.
What do you watch it on?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Interesting. Wonder Man.
But yeah, it's a very Hollywood centered show. Like, it's the story is like, I'm not very familiar with Wonder Man as a comic book character, but from my understanding is like it's a superhero that is also an actor, and or like he's a superhero, but he also wants to play a superhero, but he doesn't know that he's a real superhero. I don't know.
Wait, what?
It's from what I've heard of the comic book character, it's a little confusing, but
What do you?
the show's good so far.
Huh? How do you not know you are, but you are?
I don't know, man.
That's crazy. Huh?
But
Maybe when he goes to sleep, he like
watch the show.
changes personalities. Maybe he has like that personality disorder where he switches into a different body.
Well, it's that's pretty much how it was with Moon Knight. He had multiple personalities, and one of his personalities was a superhero.
Interesting.
Cool. Good rec.
Anything you think our listeners would be interested in checking out?
Whether it could be food, drink, literally anything. Whiskey. Doesn't
Oh my. Let's see here. So, this was going back to the holidays in Costa Rica, but Costa Rica has a national liquor called Cacique, and it's like a rum but better. And it goes very well with a little bit of pineapple juice or coconut milk. Coconut milk. So it's like a shot of Cacique, a splash of coconut milk, and then just ice and pineapple juice.
Do you know how to spell that?
CASEAK.
CACI.
CACI.
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
Costa Rica's national liquor,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
known as guaro. Cool. 60 to 70 proof. All
Well,
right.
I guess that's actually not too bad.
It's not terrible. It's pretty good.
But it's not crazy, and it's nice because it's not super boozy. So if you don't like the booziness, it's a great alternative to rum.
Yeah, 85 proof.
If it's not 85, what are we even drinking? What are we even doing here? Cool.
Why drink alcohol if you can't taste the alcohol?
It's just a burn. Well,
He's
you
not
know, it's
alcoholic. Just rotates camera to the alcohol cabinet.
Listen, I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper right now, so
But what's in the Dr. Pepper?
you'll never know.
It's gone before I even know. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, those are good recs. Coffee drink, Cacique, and a Marvel show. Well, Disney show.
Yeah. Oh, it's also
Oh,
a Marvel
oh,
show. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family about us. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and hit the bell icon. Otherwise, leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow us on Bluesky and Instagram at CashFanPod. If you want to send us a message, you can DM us, leave a comment, or send an email to casualfanaticpodcast@gmail.com. Links for all of those things are in the description. Luca, what kind of messages can they send us?
You guys can send us any messages of recommendations, since we just did that segment, of recs that we get, that you guys have for us. Movie recommendations, show recommendations, drink recommendations. If you want us to try something new, you can tell us what you like about the podcast. You can give us your own opinions about the movies that you just listened to or watched. To give it to us so that we can read it and talk about it at one point. But yeah. The main priority though is for you to send us the movie that you want us to review, and then we'll sit here and do the same thing that we just did for your movie.
All right. Well, on that note, this has been Casual Fanatic. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. I was leaving it up for
Trevor.